Happy Vlogmas Day 9. Oh my goodness. It is Monday and it is right now the end of the workday. I'm finally home. I was in the office today, so downtown, and it's cold. It was -8 or -10. And when the wind got you, oh my goodness, it was a cold day today. But I'm going to make this quick because I do have to go upstairs and get dinner ready. And I pre-recorded a fun collaboration with Mrs. Quilty for today's video. So right after we do the Advent, I'm going to let you go over there and watch that. All right. Number 9 says, for a special someone. Oh, that's cute. That's really cute. I figgin' love you with a fig tree. Like, how cool. And I have 2 of these, so I can definitely see these going into a garment I make either for hubby or for Marianne. There we go. All right. So, yeah, like I said, because today was a work day in the office, I'm a little short on time. So I will just let you watch the collab video with Mrs. Quilty where I make something from another box they sent me. And I am quite pleased with the end result. So I will let you watch that and see you tomorrow. Bye. All right, so as I said in the intro, we are going to be opening and then making something with the Mrs. Quilty box that I received from Mrs. Quilty. So yes, this is a sponsored video. I did get the box for free, but you know me, if I don't like something, you will know. The first box I received from Mrs. Quilty, I absolutely loved. And yeah, let's get this one open. So it looks like last time we had a blue theme to the fabric. This time it looks like we're going green and pink. Oh, I love that. All right, so we've got the magazine like last time. And I'm going to flip through it a little bit later, and then I'll pick one project that we're going to make together. I'm thinking I'm probably going to make the block of the month because there's a possibility that I might be getting more of these boxes. And if I make the block of the month in each one, then at the end, I'm going to have a nice quilt. So yeah, but we're going to flip through this in a bit. All right, we've got the What's in Your Box little pamphlet, which is always very nice. Ooh, a couple of gifts. I'm running out of room here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, the gifts are amazing. Oh, look, beautiful little pouch. I'm excited. All right. I'm going to show you these first. So we've got a few clips, like wonder clips, and these are see-through, which is very nice. You can never have too many of these. I love these for my quilting. And look at this beautiful seam ripper. Oh, love this. Look how gorgeous this is. And it goes with the theme because it's green. Oh, yeah, I'm able to put it back on. Beautiful. Yay. And here are the fabrics. Oh my gosh. So 12 fat quarters. And a fat quarter, again, if you don't know, is a piece of fabric that is basically 1/4 yard. But instead of being the full width of the fabric and 18 inches, it is, or 9 inches, rather it's 21 by 18 inches, hence the fat quarter. So it's 1/4 yard, but cut differently, basically. All right, let's have a look at these beauties. So we've got this gorgeous print with the butterflies. Same print, but in a dark green. Look how amazing this is. Then a beautiful dark green, like foliage print. A green gingham or plaid. Another green foliage, this time more of a grass green. Ooh, green polka dots on a white background. Love that. Another plaid in the pink and a dark green, like bottle green. Another foliage on a white background this time. Another polka dot, but on the green background. Beautiful butterfly print on a white background. Gorgeous floral on a dark green. And finally, this cute floral on a pink. So way more green than pink, but I love that you get a pop of pink in there from time to time. This is going to make gorgeous, gorgeous projects. All right, so 12 of these fat quarters. And they give you enough fabric to make at least 2 of the projects in the magazine every month. Obviously, you don't have to make the projects in their magazine. You can stash your fat quarters or make something completely different. You could make zipper pouches. You can make placemats. You can keep all of your fat quarters and then make one gorgeous quilt. So yeah, you don't absolutely have to use these, but if you're a beginner quilter and you want to try your hand at quilting, the fact that all the fabric in the box is coordinated makes it so much easier for you to make a really nice baby quilt maybe, or a set of placemats. So yeah, love that. All right, inside the magazine, you always have a few articles, which I absolutely love. This month, or in this box, we've got an article on quilt binding. Then you've got a description of everything in your box. So these are the 4 projects we have. So this is the block of the month, which is beautiful. We've got a gorgeous coaster. This is made with templates. You've got a tote bag. All the instructions are included. And then you've got an apron. Now, you'll need to buy or get more fabric or more notions than what's included in the bag for the apron. Like, you'll need a backing fabric that's sturdy like a canvas. That's not included in the box, but you'll have all of these fabrics included in your box. Same for your tote bag. They suggest that you quilt your little patchwork to a piece of either fusible fleece. You can always use just regular batting because the tote bag is lined. You're not going to see the back of the quilting. But yeah, there might be some projects where you need to have stuff in your stash to complete the project. But overall, all of the quilting cotton you need to make 2 of these projects is included in the box. Then you've got a description of your gifts and of the fabrics included in the box. You can also order, like Mrs. Quilty doesn't just sell the boxes. You can buy additional quantities of the same fabric. And I think they also sell notions on their website. So yeah. There's an article here on choosing your first machine. There's a gardening quiz because the overall theme to this box is gardening. And then you've got all of the instructions for the projects in here. Very clear illustrations, very clear instructions. Love this. All right, I'm going to finish flipping through my magazine, pick my projects, my project for sure, like the one I'm going to make with you all, and then I'll come back in a bit. All right, so I've decided I'm going to make the block of the month. And here it is. And I'm going to read you what they included in the magazine because this is just so cool. So it says, this is the double sawtooth star. Star designs dominate the quilting world and are used in many ways. The sawtooth star block, sometimes called the variable star, north star, or morning star, is easily recognized by its jagged edge. For Native Americans, the star pattern symbolizes honor. These quilts were gifted during weddings to welcome newborns, honor warriors, and offer respect to families who lost loved ones. I don't know about you, but when I'm quilting something, I love to know what the name of the block is, especially if it's a traditional block. So what the name of it is, what its meaning was originally when they came up with these. And I just love that Mrs. Quilty includes that in their magazine. Now you need 5 different fabrics to put this together. And they have a diagram here to show you where each fabric is going to go. So I picked these 5. So the 4 here will go in the star, and my white with the green polka dots is actually going to be my background fabric. In the instructions, they tell you to pick a solid white or cream or something that you have in your stash for the background, because if you're going to be making all of the blocks in each of the magazines over the course of your subscription, you want there to be consistency in the background color that you're going to use. I really don't mind a scrappy looking quilt, to be honest. And I really don't have a nice white background fabric. The ones I have are either very, very dark or pretty dull. So I'm just going to use this fat quarter that was in the box for my background. I think this will work just fine. And then obviously it goes really well with the other 4 because they were all in the box together. So here at the bottom of the page, they tell you all the tools you're going to need. So obviously a rotary cutter, a self-healing mat or cutting mat, erasable marker or a pencil, quilting ruler, sewing machine, and so on. So you've got everything you need. And then you turn the page and here are your step-by-step instructions. Very, very clear. I love the layout. So you've got your cutting instructions here first, and then your part 1 of the piecing, and then part 2 assembling. It's all laid out really, really clearly. I love it. And it's just these 2 pages. That's it. So it's not a super involved project. Now, you might remember in the last box I did an unboxing for, I mentioned that as the subscription progresses, so as you get more and more boxes, the projects in the magazine get more and more involved so that you get to build on your skills. This is box number 3 in the subscription, so it's still on the pretty easy side of things. But as you go on, again, the projects get harder, but then you build your skills up to those projects. So yeah, I just love how Mrs. Quilty does this. Okay, so the first step obviously is going to be to go and press all of my fabric. So I'm going to go and do that. And then following their instructions over here, I'm going to cut all of my fabrics and get them all ready for piecing. Okay, so I've got all my fabrics cut from A to F. So I've got everything here. There we go. Now we are ready to piece. So step 1, draw a diagonal line from corner to corner on the wrong side of 4 fabric F squares. So these are my fabric F squares. So on the wrong side I need to draw a diagonal line. Let me get my pencil. Or my pen. I have a pen, so I'm going to use a pen. Okay. Step 2, place one fabric F square on the corner of one fabric A square. Right sides together and edges aligned. And there's a figure down here to show you what to do. Okay, so I'm going to grab my fabric A square. So right sides together. So I've got my right side up. And now I'm going to place, there we go, like this. So right sides together. I'm going to sew along the drawn line, corner to corner, and then we are going to trim the excess, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then pressing our corner like this. Okay, and yes, we are going to repeat to make 4 identical stitch and flip squares with these 2 fabrics. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine with all of my pieces. And I'm going to go sew one square to another on the diagonal, then trim and press. And then we'll be ready for the next step. All right, so here are my 4 little corners. So I have sewn the square to the square, trimmed the excess fabric I had here, leaving about a 1/4 inch, and then pressed the triangle over, so I'm left with a square. So we're going to set this aside for now and move on to step number 6. So lay out 1 fabric C triangle, 2 fabric D triangles, and 1 fabric E triangle to form a QST unit. The longest edges of each triangle should create the outside edges of the QST unit. Okay, so this is what basically, hopefully you can see this. So this is what we're trying to get to here. So we're going to go with our fabric C triangles here. Then we've got the triangle D that go on either side, and then my triangle E that goes at the bottom. And you can see that the long edge of my triangles are forming the outside of the square. So now what do the instructions tell us to do? Hold on. Sew the top and left triangles together like this, and then sew the right and bottom triangles together like this. Press the seams and then sew the 2 halves together to form a full square, pressing the seam open. Okay, so there, we're going to go and do that. So sew these 2 together at a 1/4 inch, then sew these 2 together at a 1/4 inch, and then once you've got your 2 halves, sew them together along this long seam here at a 1/4 inch. This is probably going to end up a little bit bigger than 4.5, because step number 7 says trim the square to 4.5 inches. And then repeat to make 4 total QSTs. All right, so I'm going to go over to my sewing machine and get all of those done. Sewing these 2, and then sewing the 2 halves together. Make sure you've got the same fabric here is facing like this. So make sure you're pretty sure about your fabric placement here to make sure this works out. So there you go. I'm going to go to the machine and come right back. All right, here are my whoops, they go this way, my little QSTs. Now, a bit of a warning, the finished size is really 4.5. The only thing you'll need to trim are the little dog ears. So when you finish sewing these together, you'll have little triangles that poke out at the corners. Just trim those. And I used a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. So basically 1 thread smaller than a 1/4 inch. And my finished QSTs are 4.5 exactly. So be very precise with your piecing if you ever make one of these. All right, so the piecing instructions are all done. Now is the time to assemble our block. So all we have to do here is follow this diagram. So I'm just gonna push this over. Hopefully you can still see this. So I've got my middle square like this, and then I've got the QSTs arranged, what was that? With the pink triangle towards the inside. And then I've got these with the green triangles on the outside towards the corners. And here is my beautiful, beautiful block. I love it. So all that's left now is to sew each of the pieces together in 3 rows. So piece this one to this one to this one, press, put it back on the table, this one to this one to this one, press, put it back on the table, do the same. Press your seam allowances towards the plain fabrics. So basically there's no piecing on this side. So it's going to be easier to press your seam allowances towards those two, towards this one, and then towards those two as you're pressing your rows. And then once your 3 rows are all pieced, attach them one to the other to the other, and then you'll have a finished block. And here is the finished block. Very cute. I think I would have preferred, like, had I used my own fabric for the background, I could have gotten a bigger contrast between this fabric and my background fabric. And I think that would have been better. So yeah, so lesson learned. A little more contrast would have really made the star pop right off. But yeah, I'm quite pleased. And this will be the first of a few blocks I'm going to make with these boxes. And then I'll have a very cute quilt in the end. So hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, leave me any comments down below. Are you interested or intrigued by these boxes? Are you a quilter? Are you interested in getting into quilting? I would love to know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.